Hello, everybody. So the Democrat Party is losing voters, and here's some proof for you, just so I'm not making claims out of nothing. Based on recent polling, voter registration data, and public discourse as of October 25, yes, the Democratic Party is experiencing significant losses in voter support. This trend, which accelerated after the 2024 election, where Donald Trump won the presidency, House, and Senate, which, is pretty special because whenever a Republican wins, typically voter registration for Republicans get worse. Whenever a Democrat wins, typically voter registration for Democrats get worse. However, this is kind of the opposite, and this shows Democrats hemorrhaging registered votes, hitting record low favorability ratings, and struggling to retain key demographics like young voters, Latinos, and working class men. While some generic ballot polls suggest a potential Democratic rebound heading into 26 midterms, the broader data points to a structural decline that could take years to reverse. Republicans have gained ground in registration and issued trust through independents. They're also surging as a third option. So independent party is actually looking better than the Democrats right now. Here's some of the numbers. The Democrats have lost 2.1 million in registered voters. Republicans have gained 2.4 million. Swing states, they lost a 500,000 plus edge. We gained all of them as Republicans. And new registrations party share, the Democrats fell from 63 to 48%, and the Republicans rose steadily. Independents are now the second largest group. Pretty weird how the independents are now the second largest group with the new registrants. Basically what that means is people are looking at Bernie Sanders and AOC right now. Anyways, I wanted to go over some of the things that may have been causing this slight switch up to be going on. So we're actually going to be looking at quite a few things that the Democrats have been doing lately. Let's actually look at that. So here's major famous Harry Sisson guy talking about this Nazi here. So we can actually look at this video.
Don't.
So as you can see, immediately this person is like pushing their finger at this Nazi's face. This guy's dressed as a Nazi. So probably a normal reaction to someone dressed as a Nazi. See, this is where you did something wrong. You have put your hands on this man and you are going to shove him. That is assault. That's wrong.
Don't touch him. Don't
touch me. Get the fuck out.
Yeah, see, she continues, and she even goes in for a swing, but she ends up just pushing again. So you can see her swing here, where she went in to push, and it almost came off as a swing. She could have hit him in the face. That would have been doubly bad. You don't punch people, even if it is open hand.
Touch him,
and she drops her phone. And she stays in his face the whole time. She stays in his face the whole time.
Fuck you! What the fuck?
This guy just seems impressed, honestly. He's like, whoa, dude, nice outfit. Which, I mean, honestly, if you're going to show up in full Nazi regalia, I'm impressed. I am with this dude here. I'm impressed. Maybe don't show open support for it because, well, you're literally dressed up as a Nazi.
He's in my... Yo!
And these two apparently are in the same accounting class or something in college.
Are you in my accounting class? Yeah! What up, bro? What's good, bro? How are you?
And they basically distract this guy for a second. So you don't get to see everything that happens. However,
terrible.
This man comes in, and finally, now this guy is in threat, because before it was just women hitting this guy. Now there is a man. So now he is not only being ganged up on by a lot of people, there is a man who is on equal footing with him, supposedly, since he is a man. He's not a woman. This man is getting violent, pushing, screaming at him. At this point, this Nazi has every right to defend himself. Notice how he doesn't defend himself yet. He's actually giving them more grace than these people deserve. Which, probably right, since you're in a Nazi uniform, you should probably give people a little bit of grace. One push, realistically, not going to kill you. 2 pushes, they might be trying to kill you.
Serious?
Oh my god!
No, I have no idea. We're seeing you in the second.
The woman came in. All of a sudden, this man has her by the hand. You can't really see what she did, but it looks like she was going to hit him in the face. After this man has been attacked by another man, he's actually going to defend himself. Notice how he does that. He doesn't defend himself the first 10 times he was pushed. But now that 2 separate people have both agreed to put his hands on him, he's actually going to defend himself.
No.
This woman goes to take off her shoe, so then she can use it as a weapon, of course. Then, of course, Harry Sisson says, I've received exclusive footage of this 33-year-old man, loser dressed as a Nazi attacking women in Athens, Georgia, on Thursday night after getting kicked out of a bar. His name is Kenneth Leland Morgan, and he's being charged with battery and aggravated assault. He can rot in jail.
Get the fuck
you!
So this is the video he shows. So these are the guys who were recording earlier, I believe.
Fuck you!
So these 2 are not only still being violent, still pushing him, but the woman who originally hit him is now on the ground because she assaulted him several times in a row. And he's still being attacked. So the Democrats are basically swaying this, saying, well, this guy deserved it. So obviously, yeah, he should go to jail. Which maybe he should. I'm not saying he shouldn't. Actually, yes, I am. I am saying he shouldn't have gone to jail. All this man did was show up in a particular outfit. This is no different than someone showing up in a burqa. In fact, this is better than someone showing up in a burqa. Because people who believe in the Muslim religion have killed significantly more Jews, Christians, blacks, whites, all kinds of people, than the Nazis did. The Nazis had an ideology that is dead, and the Muslims have one that is alive. That is the only difference between the 2. Here's his pictures of his mugshot. And here's him saying that, Harry Sisson continuing saying, Donald Trump belongs in a jail cell. Putin and Donald Trump belong in a jail cell. Haha, Jimmy Kimmel says, isn't it past your jail time to Donald Trump? He should be in jail right now because he's a sexual abuser. There's no proof of that. The bright light that Donald Trump has talked about, apparently record high egg prices, ripping Medicaid away from 78 million people, pausing federal assistance, letting violent criminals out of jail. I'm confused. Who's been letting violent criminals out of jail? In my own sight, I've only seen that as Democrats. And also, the only people he's pardoned have been black people. Are you saying black people are violent criminals, Harry Sisson? Because the leader of his pardon force, the woman who he freed, who was a black woman, is the people... She's actually the one deciding who gets freed. So are you saying she's a violent criminal? Yeah, and he just keeps going on saying Trump needs to be in jail. Stephen Bannon's conviction defying January 6th, people need to be in jail. Donald Trump is a convicted felon. He's not a convicted felon. Joe Biden, President 2024, Donald Trump for jail right now. This is the only time he ever says jail, by the way, other than this Nazi guy. Harry Sisson is only for jail whenever he believes the person is a Trump supporter. He never supports jailing anyone who murders people. He doesn't support it. He never says it one time. Harry Sisson is pro-murder, but anti-dressing up as a Nazi. Here we have someone saying, dressing up as a demon or a devil for Halloween is infinitely worse than dressing up as a Nazi. Yet nobody has a problem with that. Leftist shill says, well, actually, no, because these guys inspired generations of hate, and devils and demons aren't real. But devils and demons are, in fact, real, and have inspired many more generations of hate than any Nazi. So this is the left. This is your left people. This is who they are. Yeah, these people are absolutely pathetic, but we continue on. Right-wingers will see something like this and take personal offense. Kill Nazis. Well, that's a weird thing to take offense to. I wonder why people would take offense to that. This is also Harry Sisson talking about how people need to prosecute... While Trump and his teams are trying to uncover the names of the DOJ prosecutors and FBI agents investigating him, so if he wins, he can purge them, per the Rolling Stone. So this is Harry Sisson taking a stance against prosecution of people literally trying to influence an election. Then Adam Mockler, the same person who just said right-wingers will see this and take personal offense to kill Nazis, is now calling right-wingers least fascist Trump move. So he's saying the least fascist thing Trump has ever done is try to win a fair election and try to arrest people who are meddling with the elections. So this is the least fascist thing he's ever done. Just so we're clear, fascist, in this man's mind, means Nazi. Oh, here's also a generational Freudian slip, according to the Anarchist Turtle. The Anarchist Turtle is an anarchist who believes themselves to be a turtle. The libs of TikTok actually posted this, saying Democrats want to kill us, and they're so open about it. Well, how could this possibly be a Freudian slip? Oh! It's because there's the word Nazi on the sign of killing Charlie Kirk. That's the Freudian slip, right? We were Freudian slipping whenever we said Charlie Kirk was one of us. And that you're calling him a Nazi, and that you've been calling us Nazis. Right, that was just a Freudian slip. Right, okay. So, do you see a pattern here? This is the We're Not Nazis section of the video. And if you keep calling us them, it's lost all meaning. There's no such thing as Nazi anymore because you guys don't know what it means, and you've been calling us that for 20 years, 40 years. Since World War II, we've been called Nazis. The Republican Party has been called Nazis since World War II. And there's no such thing as a Nazi anymore because you guys have muddled the definition so much that it means nothing. Here's my tweet of all time. You know it's bad when even Cenk Uygur, says Democrats need to wake up. He released a video on the Young Turks saying millions of Americans are ditching the Democratic Party. It's crazy, isn't it? Millions of Americans are ditching the Democratic Party. Even the Democrats, who are literally named after putting dogs on an island and killing them all by starving them to death and letting them drown, these guys know what's going on. Tim Walz is finally up to date on the earlier part of the year, back in like June, when Donald Trump said pregnant women don't use Tylenol unless absolutely necessary. Don't give Tylenol to your young children for virtually any reason. You know? and Tylenol actually went along with that. But Tim Walz says, ask your doctor if crazy pills are right for you, implying that Donald Trump is crazy for saying any of this. However, if you actually go down here, you'll start seeing, well, what's this? Oh, I almost passed it up. Tylenol. We actually don't recommend using any of our products while pregnant. Thank you for taking the time to voice your concerns today. Does Tylenol make any other tweets? We actually don't recommend you using any of our products while pregnant. Crazy, isn't it? Here's a whole bunch of Tylenol tweets. Congrats on your upcoming edition. So excited. It'd be great to touch base real quick since we haven't tested Tylenol to be used during pregnancy. Call us when you can at their number and use your Twitter handle. We actually don't recommend using any of our products while pregnant. Thanks for the shout out, Carrie. Just to make sure that your talk to your doctor before taking Tylenol while pregnant. Thanks again. Oh, look at that. That's almost the same thing fucking Tim Walz just posted. If you are pregnant nursing, seek the advice of a healthcare professional before using Tylenol or other medication. Basically, Tim Walz is an idiot. Now, we can go on to the part of the video where we talk about Muslims, because this is my favorite topic, honestly. These guys are very important in the current society, and they need to be taken care of in legal and fair ways. Mehdi Hasan says, a reminder of what a racist bigot Charlie Kirk was and how much he incited against minorities. Before Charlie was killed, he started to speak loudly about the importation of radical Islamic values into America. It's not Islamophobic to notice that a man who wants to globalize the Intifada, which means to bring the killing of Jews and Christians and other people across the world, is about to run America's largest and once greatest city. It is not Islamophobic to notice that Muslims want to import values into the West that seek to destabilize our civilization. Literally. Not even like on accident. These people actually praise the death of America. It's cultural suicide to stay silent. Yet Mehdi Hasan doesn't seem to get it. He says, a reminder of what a racist bigot Charlie Kirk was. This is the kind of language that got Charlie Kirk murdered. But this man still feels completely okay to say it out loud. The left has not learned their lesson. Most rational people do not want their enemies murdered on live streams. They don't want to see it for days and weeks after. They don't want to see it a month after. They don't want to think about how this man who just wanted to talk to people was murdered. That feels really bad when you know your side is actually doing that. Are you inciting hatred against American values? You're still alive, and you're doing the thing that you're claiming he did while saying he deserved to die? Thank you, Toby Turner. I can swing my sword. I can swing my sword. I love your songs, dude. A reminder of what an Islamo-fascist bigot Mehdi is and how much hate he incited against America. Mehdi Hasan said, make American planes crash again. Yeah, he's definitely the kind of guy who you want to be speaking up publicly for your image. Democrat Party, make American planes crash again, while his best friend, Zohran Mamdani, is running for New York governor. They just had a podcast together. Maybe I should cover that. This is also one of our favorite kinds of people. This man is an Indian. However, I would bet you anything to say he was probably also slightly Muslim. Woman leaves mid-argument. Her husband slits their twin daughters' throats. These are the kinds of people who we're inviting into the country. This is the third world. And we're inviting them into the Americas. Feminists will call you racist for nothing. It's an Indian, but not sexist for noticing it's a man. It's easy to comment on the face of it. Question we should be asking, what led a man to kill his own in a fit of rage? Well, Sigma rules. This is a man from the third world, and the third world does not have American values. Sigma rules. Why don't you question that? It's not misogyny, it's pain, which has true no mode of expression. They built up and destroyed everyone in the end. This is a third world problem, not a pain problem. Would he have killed the children if they were his sons? Likely not, because the people over there have this weird obsession with lineage and stuff, which I actually really like lineage. However, to kill your own daughters, or to even put your daughters below your sons, I feel is disgusting. I want to have a son one day, maybe. If it ever happens, God bless. But right now, it's not even in the cards, dude. I know I'm probably going to have daughters, and I will be thankful for having daughters. I do eventually want to have a son, though, so my last name will carry on through the generations. But, you know, if I only have daughters, I'll be perfectly happy with that. However, that's not what the third world does. And this is an exemplar of a deeply misogynist culture. What culture do you think this man represents? Because Americans, good, normal Americans, don't slit the throats of their own children. Mediasan continues, saying, imagine being married to a brown woman, having mixed-race kids, then publicly mocking other brown people as they talk publicly and emotionally on their experience of racism. Vance is just a bad person. Oh, I'm sorry, Mediasan, or should I say, Muhammad Ali, you look the same to me. I don't give a fucking crap about what you have to say. J.D. Vance is actually just saying, according to Zoran, the real victim of 9/11 was his aunt, who got some, allegedly, bad looks. Let's actually make sure that's what he said.
New York City. I want to speak to the memory of my aunt.
Okay, the memory of your aunt. I'm sure that this is going to be an emotional tale. Just so we're clear, this is the memory of his aunt, so this is a dead woman. Dead women have horrible things happen to them all the time, because that's just how history works. People who are dead have horrible things happen to them. So I'm sure that Zoran Mandani, whatever his fucking name is, I don't care, has plenty of things to say about how horrible his aunt was treated.
Who stopped taking the subway after September 11th because she did not feel safe in her hijab.
Because she didn't feel safe. After 9/11, you're going to wear the symbol of the people who killed millions of Americans in the city where they were killed, and you weren't even attacked. There's not a single mention of an attack. This woman was not beaten. She was not bruised. She was not hurt. The worst thing she got was judged, and she felt unsafe. Well, Zoran Mandani, a lot of people feel unsafe right now in New York. People are being attacked on the street for recording in the open. People are being literally beaten by these illegal immigrants that you support being in the country, who are voting for you. By the way, that's his entire voting base, is illegal immigrants. If it was just illegal people, he would win. If it was just normal people who actually belong here, he wouldn't have a chance. Literally, no one from New York would actually vote for him. There's a couple of outliers who are completely mind-controlled and lost in their own retardation. But Mamdani has no chance with real New Yorkers. When Muslims are in the minority, they are very concerned with minority rights. When they are in the majority, there are no minority rights.
The Islamist psychology works in a nutshell. The psyche of the Islamist operates under 3 stages. The first stage is vulnerability and victimization. The second stage is silent jihad and dissemination. The third and final stage is violent jihad. The first stage takes place when the Islamist is a weak and vulnerable minority, so they will victimize themselves as much as practicably possible. So terms such as Islamophobia are used as a tool and as a weapon such that you, the Western liberal, will fall and succumb to their bullshit and will never ever criticize Islamist ideology because that will make you somehow racist.
Just so we're clear, yeah, this is what we've been doing for the past 10 plus years. So this is where we have been.
Or a xenophobe, but that's a false dichotomy. The second stage is silent jihad and dissemination. And this is probably the most critical stage because this is where it entails all sorts of PR stunts, propaganda, ideological indoctrination through religious institutions, schools, changing legislation, and the list goes on.
This is where we are in certain parts of America right now. Everywhere that there is a Muslim in high levels of power, you have this happening, the silent jihad, which is basically enforcing Sharia law. America doesn't do Sharia law. We are founded on Christian values which oppose Muslim values in every single way. No American that's not a Islam person, a Muslim, as the Muslims like to call them, Muslims. Nobody wants that. I don't want you to have to wear a burqa if you're a woman. I do think veils are pretty. I think veils are beautiful. However, I don't think you should be forced to wear one. Especially not one that's all black so I can only see your eyes. That's dumb. You want to have your nails done and then have it covered by sleeves that you can't see your hands out of? Really? That's sick. Why would you want that? I don't want that.
But here's the tricky and really, really dangerous part that you all need to be wary of. Islamists are prepared to change stages and revert back when the circumstance fits. So what do I mean by that? If, let's say, a society starts calling them out on their bullshit, they are prepared to go back and revert to stage 1, and that is vulnerability and victimization.
That is where we are in most places in America right now.
The moment you call out Islamists for trying to take over the corresponding society which they are within, they will go back to victimizing themselves. And what will they do? They will start to call you an Islamophobe. And it is your responsibility not to fall for that bullshit. And it is their responsibility to stop living this life of trying to victimize themselves, but rather actually assimilate within the values and the culture of the society that has taken them in. So be wary that they are prepared to shapeshift and change stages whenever the circumstance fits.
Whoa, this guy actually wants Muslims to blend in and actually fit into the society that they're in? Wow, what an Islamophobe. Anyway, this person says, never forget early voting begins today. Vote Andrew Cuomo and save our city. Anyone flippantly posting images like this for clout is a fucking ghoul. Everyone I know lost someone that day. I still have nightmares about what I saw. Nearly 50,000 first responders and others' crews now suffer from 9/11 linked cancers. Our pain isn't your cannon fodder. And of course, Eli Kohanim responds, because only Zoran Mamdani has the right to evoke 9/11. You know his aunt got mean looks on the subway. What ghoulish what's ghoulish is the people who would vote for a guy who campaigns with the unindicted WTC co-conspirator, World Trade Center co-conspirator. So this is actually a thing that happened, is Zohran Mamdani actually takes pictures and has this close-knit friendship with the people who basically made sure that the World Trade Center actually collapsed. And these people want him in City Hall. I can give you 2,296 reasons not to elect a radical Muslim as New York City mayor. A vote for Mamdani means New York forgot already. Imagine a religion whose followers admit they want to kill you, but they say you have a phobia if you don't want to be killed. Ban Mamdani from America. This is a photo of him with... This is the guy who actually helped the 9/11 terrorists actually into the country and helped them commit 9/11. Mamdani embraces radical Imam linked to 1993 World Trade Center bombing in New York mayoral campaign. Okay, maybe it wasn't. It was in 1993 a mayoral bombing, not the World Trade Center, but he was linked to a terrorist attack. So that's interesting. We don't want Democrats running New York City. That's falling in pieces. Vote Curtis Sewell. I don't know who these people are. What I do know is that we cannot have a Muslim in charge of America at all. Ever. We already have one in the Senate, and frankly, she needs to be out of the country. Here is our section of the video where we go into Trump being blamed for the food stamps and SNAP things. So 40% of SNAP recipients are kids, 18% are elderly, 11% are disabled, and the rest, 70%, already have jobs. So unless your company's hiring junior juice box interns, grandma in her walker, or knows how to fit more hours in a day, maybe cool it with just get a job takes. Well, let's actually go into that. So 40 plus 18 plus 11. That's 70%, right? That's just about 70. So we have 40, 50, 60. That's 69%. So you're saying that 41% of SNAP recipients are neither kids, elderly, or disabled? Why do they have SNAP? Why? Why do they need it? 40%? Dude, are you saying 40% of SNAP recipients don't need it? I think you are. Anyway, social media has pulled back the curtain. EBT recipients are now complaining that they won't have money for marijuana when their food stamps are coming in.
Bro is waiting in the dispensary parking lot, asking people if they have any spare roaches. I don't think y'all understand. The crash out levels is about to go through the roof. No food stamps equals no to less weed money. Like, y'all about to have people out here hangry and sober. That's a diabolical combination. Because the food...
Excuse me. I was pretty sure that weed wasn't covered on food stamps.
money got to come out of some budget, and that's the first one it usually comes from. All I'm saying is just be nicer to people in these coming days, because that blunt and those snacks may have been the only thing stopping your coworker from putting you first in line for a meet and greet with God Almighty. Bro,
I honestly 100% hope someone tries. I hope someone tries, dude. God gave me hands for a reason. Congrats on finding one dumb video out of 42 million people. Are the 40% who are children buying marijuana? What about the 49% which aren't elderly or disabled or children? What about the 49%? You want to focus on the 40%. I want to focus on the 49%. Me and my kids can't survive without EBT starter pack. Done lips with piercings done nails with like little glitter and glam, vacations and rags and whatever the hell that is, pom-poms or something, I don't know. Distribution of SNAP participants by age, fiscal year, 41%. What is that? Adults ages 18 to 59. Why do they need it? Okay, let's look at children. Children younger than 5. 11%? Why are children even getting EBT? Don't they have parents? 11.1 is ages 5 and under. What on earth does a 5-year-old need an EBT card for? That's a pretty good question. Why do you need an EBT card as a 5-year-old? Well, I'm sure this is actually something like the parents actually get it, but the EBT is for the 5-year-old? Who knows? But the recipient means that they are literally mailed the card. They're the recipient. So why would they be the recipient and not the parents? Well, that's a good question, isn't it? Let's look at food stamps by ethnicity. 45% are Afghan, 42% are Somali, 34% are Iraqi, 34% are Dominican, 28% are Caribbean, 27% are Native. Where's white on this list? Oh, here we go. Third to last, just regular white people, 8.6. Just so we're clear, for all those people who hate Israelis, the Jews, 11% are them. So if you hate the Israelis, it's only 11%. I actually care a lot for Israelis. Right beside Nigerian, which are also facing like this whole thing right now, where, I think we should have more Nigerians in our country right now just because they're facing a literal attack from other people. Filipino, just under that. Chinese, just under that. White, just under that. Italian, which should be under white in my opinion, just under that. Indian, like kind of Indian, 4.4%. Why is black 24%? Why is Cuban 25%? Why is Afghan almost half? What are the Afghanistanites doing here? Apparently nothing. Look at that. Afghan, 45% of Afghanis, almost half of Afghanis are on SNAP benefits. We need an explanation for that. So Donald Trump is literally dancing in Asia while 40 million people lose access to food. However, Donald Trump has actually been over here for quite a while. He's been planning this trip for a very long time, so it's not as if he's gone off to avoid the food stamps thing. This trip has been planned since he became president of the United States. I actually know someone who has been talking about this for a while because they are a member of what's that country called? Malaysian people. They are a Malaysian person from Malaysia. They live in Malaysia. And she's like, yeah, we've had this planned for a long time. I haven't talked to her about it yet. Maybe I should. But she's been talking about this for a while. And she actually came back from the airport on the same day that Trump got there. So, yeah, this has been a plan for a very, very long time. And you can't just say Gavin Newsom doesn't know this, because Gavin Newsom should know this. So this is a really inefficient argument, because he's had this plan for a long time. But even if he did leave, and this was going on, this has nothing to do with him. This is the House of Representatives. He has nothing to do with that. He can't veto anything in there. He can't do anything in there. What do you want him to do? Force open the government? You definitely don't want that, because the Democrats are the one keeping it closed. So what do you want from him? You want him to just stay here for no reason? There's no reason for him to stay here. As you can see, Mr. Reagan, your DEI social media team sounds like Greta Thunberg. Thank you. Senate Democrats, SNAP recipients, he literally shot him. Look at what Trump is doing to the poors. Yeah. This you, Gavin Newsom literally dined at a French laundry after he locked 40 million Californians in their homes. What do you want? Crazy, isn't it? Why do you think the Democrat Party is losing its voters? Well, what could it possibly be? Y'all are really dumb ass voting for Trump thinking he was gonna bring us money, and this Nick Din canceled fucking EBT. What? First of all, Trump didn't cancel EBT. That was the Senate. That was the Senate Democrats. We're dumb for voting him because he's going to bring us money? Honey, he brought us more money in this month than most of what Joe Biden did. Who made America more money? Trump in his first 7 months, or Biden in his first year? I actually don't know the answer to this. Let's look it up. Yeah, the GDP growth. Trump's first January 20th, 2017. Biden's first year, January 20th to December 31st. So with Trump, oh, this is actually really hard to read. Biden's 5.7 growth added 1.5 trillion. Where's Trump? Where's Trump? Versus Trump's 1.6. So it's 1.5 to 0.6. And this is 7 months compared to a year. So realistically, what are we looking at? We're looking at pretty good, in my opinion. This is probably a bad portion to pull from. Overall, Biden made America more money. By aggregate measures, Biden generated 3 times more economic value when he was given more time, of course. Job increase versus Trump's 0.8 still lead. Trump's steady progress was credible in a stable economy, but Biden's policy, stimulus, infrastructure catalyzed a historic rebound. Future deficits under either rise with tariff spending. Focus on productivity for sustained gains. Data as of October 2025. Markets fluctuate. So essentially, Biden had a rushed economic plan, while Trump's has a steady economic plan. So, while Lady whatever TRU has a point that she's not getting money right now, what she doesn't have a point is that Trump didn't do this. This isn't Trump. I can't decide which is worse, this being real or fake, while you cry about EBT. This is a picture of a watch or something. Yeah. So she has this nice watch, nice chain, tattoos, but she's crying about food. No, he didn't. The Dems chose not to vote to the continuance agreement. Yeah, he voted. The Republicans tried to give you an option to pull this up for a whole nother year. Give you what you want for a whole nother year. But Democrats ended up saying, no, we don't want it for a year. We want it forever. We want you to say, yes, boss, we'll listen to you because you're the minority and we should listen to the minority, even though while you guys were the majority, you literally bullied the Republicans into everything you wanted. Now you're sitting here as the minority still trying to bully Republicans. It's not going to work anymore. This is your fault. This is literally your fault. And no one's going to fall for this. Anyway, that's why the Democrats are losing voters. And we hope that they continue to lose voters, honestly. I really do. Hope that these guys continue to fail as epically as they have been for the past 10 years. Hope you guys had a great time. Hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, like and subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next one. You guys have a blessed day.